I try to keep an open mind as much as possible. I'm open to new ideas and theories, and I respect other people's opinions, knowing that none of us have it all figured out anyway. Today's story has to do with a pretty out-there theory, the reptilian or lizard people conspiracy. As I said before, I respect people's right to their own opinions, but this story has to do with more than just believing in an unusual theory. It is about the dangerous side of being too immersed in a certain way of thinking, so immersed that you would do outrageous and terrible things because of those beliefs. Welcome to my channel, Weird Wild Stories. My name is Chrissy, and I typically discuss things that are strange, mysterious, and creepy. If that interests you, please subscribe or follow me. If you enjoy this video, hit the like button, leave me a comment, or share this video with a friend. That really helps out a small growing channel like mine. Okay, now let's get into the story. What if I told you that some people believe the world's most powerful figures, presidents, royalty, billionaires, aren't human at all? Instead, they're cold-blooded, shape-shifting, reptilian creatures from another galaxy, or perhaps another dimension, who secretly control our planet. Today, we're diving deep into the bizarre world of the reptilian conspiracy theory, tracing its origins and exploring how this belief has led to terrifying real-life crimes. But be warned, what starts as a wild, almost absurd theory takes a dark and deadly turn. The belief in reptilian humanoids has roots that stretch back to ancient mythologies. Serpentine gods and lizard-like creatures appear in stories across different cultures, from the Nagas of Hinduism to the snake-like Quetzalcoatl of Mesoamerican mythology. But the modern twist, the idea that these creatures are here now, controlling our world, that comes largely from one man, David Icke. David Icke was once a sports commentator, but in the 1990s, he experienced what he described as a spiritual awakening. And with that awakening came a set of radical beliefs, chief among them that humanity is being manipulated by shape-shifting reptilian aliens. These beings, according to Icke, take on human form, infiltrating positions of power, governments, corporations, even royalty. Icke claims these reptilians come from the Draco constellation, or perhaps from another dimension. They manipulate world events, wars, financial crises, even pandemics, all to control us like cattle. And their influence, Icke says, runs deep. Figures like Queen Elizabeth, George W. Bush, and Bill Gates are, in Icke's view, not human at all, but reptilian overlords wearing human skin. To most, this sounds like pure fantasy. But to a select few, this belief is not just real, it's a cause for action. And that's where things get dangerous. On August 7, 2021, in Santa Barbara, California, a man named Matthew Taylor Coleman was packing for what seemed like a normal family vacation. But something snapped. Without warning, Coleman put his two young children, Kaleo, just 2 years old, and Roxy, a 10-month-old baby, into his van and drove off, leaving his wife behind. He crossed the border into Mexico, checking into a resort in Rosarito. For 2 days, it seemed like he was just spending time with his kids, but in reality, something much darker was brewing in his mind. On the third day, Coleman drove his children to a secluded farm. There, he did the unthinkable. He killed both children with a spearfishing gun. When he was arrested trying to re-enter the U.S., Coleman explained his twisted reasoning. He believed his wife carried serpent DNA, that his children were not fully human. In his delusional state, he convinced himself that killing his children was the only way to stop them from turning into monsters. Coleman's horrifying act was directly linked to the reptilian conspiracy theory. He had fallen deep into online rabbit holes, influenced by the work of David Icke and other conspiracy theorists. He believed the human race was being infiltrated by alien reptiles, and his children, in his mind, were part of this invasion. I did find this clip online that suggests that since his arrest, Michael Coleman has had a chance to reflect on his actions. It appears as though he realizes just how misled he was. Take a look.
He allegedly killed them after becoming convinced they carried serpent DNA and would grow into monsters. He said he was enlightened by QAnon and Illuminati conspiracy theories. But now Coleman says he's coming to terms with his delusions. In a jailhouse letter obtained by People magazine, Coleman writes, "I was deceiving myself. I know now that the reptile DNA thing was a delusion in my own mind. I made myself believe something that wasn't there."
Our next story takes us back to Christmas morning, 2020, in Nashville, Tennessee. At around 6:30 a.m., a massive explosion rocked the downtown area, destroying buildings, damaging over 50 structures, and knocking out communication services across several states. Here is video footage of the explosion captured by CCTV cameras in the area. Viewer discretion is advised, as this may be difficult for some viewers to watch. The culprit? A man named Anthony Warner, a 63-year-old IT specialist. Warner had lived a quiet life, but he was harboring disturbing beliefs. Among was a fixation on conspiracy theories about the government and, crucially, about shape-shifting reptilians. He believed that alien lizard people had infiltrated the highest levels of power, and in his paranoia, he became convinced that the AT&T building near where he parked his RV was part of some reptilian surveillance operation. In the weeks leading up to the bombing, Warner had begun telling people he believed something big was going to happen, something involving a mass conspiracy. His bomb, packed inside his RV, detonated in the early morning hours, wreaking havoc across the city. Warner himself died in the blast, leaving behind a wake of destruction fueled by his belief in a global reptilian conspiracy. And then there's Bucky Wolf, a 26-year-old man from Seattle who believed that reptilian shapeshifters were real and walking among us. Wolf was a self-proclaimed member of the far-right Proud Boys group, and like many who find themselves deep into these fringe ideologies, he had also embraced the QAnon conspiracy. Here are a few clips from his YouTube channel, which was called Sebin Wolf. These videos around the time of the murder.
I died. And here I am, untouched. I am living proof of these lizards' doom. I am living proof of God. If you have reached this video and you're a human and you're in the same boat that I am, wondering how many of us are there left, contact me. UCKEYWOLFE92@gmail.com. Hit me up. You are not alone. Almost. Almost. Now let's look at the benefits. Well, I don't even need to touch on that. I think that explains for itself. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory is what I meant to say. What, from medicine to technology to understanding to wisdom, you name it. Like, you know how many people are living with such shitty ass like diseases and shit that could be like rid of, like AIDS or like cancer, or like people with no legs and shit wanting like, and y'all got some like lizard like leg regrow shit. You know how like you cut a gecko's tail off and it regrows? I'm sure you guys have like figured out how that works and can regrow someone's fucking arm, or like have some like Elysium style med bay, like where you like lie down in the bay and it like fucking repairs you head to toe.
For Wolf, it wasn't just politicians or world leaders he suspected of being reptilian. It was his own brother. On a winter night in 2019, Wolf did something unimaginable. Armed with a 4-foot-long sword, he stabbed his brother in the head, killing him instantly. When police arrived, Wolf told them that he believed his brother was not human, but a reptilian shapeshifter in disguise. He even asked the officers if they too could see the lizards. Wolf's descent into madness was driven by the same kind of conspiracy theories that had overtaken Warner and Coleman. Online, Wolf's social media accounts were filled with references to QAnon, the Proud Boys, and his obsession with reptilian invaders. He was convinced that the world was overrun with these creatures, and in his delusional state, his brother had become their latest target. These crimes are just a few examples of the horrifying real-world consequences that conspiracy theories can have. For most, the idea of reptilian shapeshifters controlling the world is nothing more than a bizarre, almost comical theory. But for some, it's a reality that drives them to violence, even against their own families. Those who promote these ideas often claim that they're just asking questions, exposing hidden truths. But the truth is, these ideas have the power to warp vulnerable minds, leading to devastating outcomes. It's a reminder that conspiracy theories, no matter how outlandish, can have very real, very dangerous consequences. So keep your mind open, but remember to always stay grounded in reality. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe, and as always, stay curious.